One more thing I forgot to mention here, and again, this piston here, you could probably get some more time on it. Um, I have the service manual, and it really doesn't list any spec on there, or at least anything that I could find on the information I have. But one visual thing you can do, and actually you can actually do it with your fingernail. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but you actually have this is the intake side. You actually have like machining marks on here, and if you were to rub your fingernail on here, you can feel it. Okay, that's a new piston. That's indicative of that you're good to go. On this particular piston here, there's nothing. I mean, she's worn smooth. Okay, same thing on the exhaust side. The exhaust side took a little hit here. We caught it right away before it did any damage. But the point is, if you're going to go ahead and refurbish one of these and put new bearings and seals and all that, I think this thing was like $40 to my door. It doesn't come with the wrist pin bearing, so I'm going to have to buy one of those. Oh, and I use OEM. I won't screw around with that with any aftermarket. I had one fired on me one time, and it's like, you know what, it just ain't worth it. Just like, to me, it's just not worth it to throw this piston back into this saw after putting bearings and seals and money into it. These do wear out. I mean, again, you could conceivably run this thing until these skirts are paper thin, but this thing is, as you get wear in here, your piston is actually, the sides here, it's actually getting smaller, and obviously your bore is not wearing out, or wearing, maybe 1/10 of a thousandths or whatever. But what'll happen is this thing is going around, this thing starts rocking around in there, back and forth, and then it starts whacking your cylinder, and it wears it even more. So, like I said, you could reuse it if you want. For me personally, if I'm going to go through the labor and expense of splitting the cases and putting new bearings and seals and then repairing everything, I'm not going to jeopardize it. Number one, this piston is worn a little bit. It's not going to perform like this one. And number two is, who knows? What? To me, it doesn't make any sense. If some, even for a customer or whatever, you throw this back in there after doing all this work, and then there was say a stress crack, or your ringland was worn a little bit and the saw blows up. I mean, how are you ahead? I mean, I just want to do things one time. I'd rather spend an extra $50-$60 and get everything in tolerance, and and that's another reason why I talk about these canned fuels. I mean, these things will run for forever. Whereas these, they will, but you're not going to get 3,000 hours out of this running pump gas, and I don't give a shit what kind of oil you run. It just ain't gonna happen.